the center of the zone.
What'd you get me for Christmas in June?
A bag of walnuts.
Oh, man. Worst partner ever. A's baseball next. We'll talk to you after the ball game.
The beautiful sights of Southern California. The road trip takes the Athletics from San Francisco down to Anaheim. Next up, the Angels for a weekend set at the Big A. Glad you're along with us this Friday night. Hello, everyone. Jenny Kavnar with Dallas Braden. The win yesterday, much needed for the Athletics. Time now to build a streak, and it's going to be a very familiar pitching matchup to start here. JT Ginn once again against Walber Urania. These two have matched up twice this year, and the last time in Anaheim 5.5 weeks ago, we were all taken on a roller coaster ride.
JT Ginn was absolutely dealing. You want to talk about being on your best behavior, putting forth an A effort here at the Big A. That's exactly what JT Ginn dialed up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 no-hit innings, Jenny. Took a no-hitter into the ninth. Unfortunately, would walk away with a bit of a heartbreaker. He did log his first career complete game, but the bow on it came with a loss. Had his heart broke by Zach Neto at the very end of the ball game. See if we could rewrite a little different ending to this story.
Yeah, the Angels have had the second most walk-offs here in their ballpark. They've also had a pitcher who's been leading the way in Urania. Again, the Athletics just seeing him, and well, they haven't been seeing him too good because he hasn't allowed a run yet against the A's this year.
Well, and it's that changeup that has given me impure thoughts since I saw it for the very first time. And Walber Urania has been absolutely filthy. Whether he's wearing a white headband or a red headband, which the A's made him change last time around, it didn't matter because this dude has been absolutely incredible against the green and gold in his 2 starts. Nary a run to be found, Jenny. 11 shutout innings, 10 punch-outs, just a couple free passes. They're going to have to find a way to get to this guy and get to him early.
The Athletics have won 5 of the 8 meetings so far, so a big weekend ahead, and it's going to be a fun one, a holly jolly one, if you will. Christmas in June, right here at the Big A, coming up. It's Christmas in June here at the Big A, but the Athletics feel like they're traveling with a pack of presents from a great ending in San Francisco.
It was a pretty good ending. I think a much needed ending to a tough series, Jenny. Looking to avoid the sweep. Time now for the Endorphin Player, brought to you by In Shape Fitness. And it was the play of the A's in the 9th inning, who would come back and score 4 runs in the 9th, all with 2 outs, to take the ball game and avoid the series sweep. And Jenny, the green and gold faithful that had made their way to the ballpark in San Francisco, they were on their feet in full support. It was a fantastic way to finish what was turning out to be a very, very tough series. As I said, you dropped 2 out of 3, but to win that ball game in that fashion and get on the plane with a win under your belt, fantastic.
Yeah, it felt like a tumultuous start to the road trip, and then to salvage that series and bring it here to Anaheim, hoping for big things this weekend. Let's get you game time weather, brought to you by Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. 74 degrees, the temperature feels just right, even though we're listening to Christmas jingles as we walk on in. Hard to put that mind frame into perspective. 56% humidity, definitely feeling that in the air, and some wind, 14 miles per hour, but right now pretty cool, calm, collected, blue skies as we get set for Friday night under the lights at the Big A. See what this offense has in store against a very familiar opponent that we're going to see on the mound here, as the Angels and Athletics just hooked up in West Sacramento last week. So one of those things, Dallas, where you see them on the calendar twice, and here the Angels are taking the field. A hop, skip, and a jump for the starting pitcher in Walber Urania. And as the Angels take the field after a day off, we'll get you the Athletics lineup here today, brought to you by your Sacramento area Chevrolet dealers. That's Henry Volte. He's the leadoff hitter for the A's, hitting .320 on the season now. Nick Kurtz will hit second, then is Shea Langoliers trying to get out of a bit of a funk. Tyler Soderstrom in the cleanup spot. Jonah Heim as the DH. Lawrence Butler, a hero yesterday in San Francisco. Max Muncy, Jeff McNeil, and Alika Williams.
And you called it, Jenny. It's Walbert Urena on the mound for the Halos tonight. 15th appearance, 13th start. A .500 record at 5-5, but this guy has been fantastic against the Athletics. And in terms of the rookie charge on the mound, leads all rookies across Major League Baseball with a low 2.41 ERA. And Walbert Urena, as I said, has had the Athletics number, and due in large part to a dynamic arsenal led by a filthy changeup.
Yeah, we'll see what adjustments the A's can make today against him. There's JT Ginn walking across the yard there, getting to the dugout, and he will be set to make the start opposing Urena. Let's take a look at the defense for the Halos here today. Logan O'Hoppe doing the catching, Nolan Shonowell at first. It's Donovan Walton at second base. Zach Neto is at shortstop. Denzer Guzman at third. Wade Meckler is in left field tonight. Josh Lowe in center field, and Joe Adell in right. And there's your old teammate, Kurt Suzuki, managing the Angels, and huge news coming down right before the game, just about an hour or so ago, that the Angels today have fired their general manager in Perry Manassian. So big change coming here in Anaheim that we'll get to throughout the broadcast. A couple changes around Major League Baseball today when it comes to leaders of clubs, but for the Angels, in Perry's last year of the deal, they decided to part ways here on June 26th.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll dive into that a little deeper here as the ball game goes on. I know some folks that we were eating lunch with had some thoughts and opinions.
Definitely sent some shockwaves, no question. First pitch off and running, a swing and a miss for Volte, as Urena delivers a sinker to begin this evening.
Well, we've gotten a good look at Urena and his entire arsenal. I talked about just how nasty of a changeup he features.
And goes to the sweeper, 0-2.
I mean, this is missed by a couple feet, to say the least. But that's what makes Urena so nasty, is he's got two really good fastballs in the four-seamer and the sinker. The changeup is otherworldly. And that sweeper can get some swing and miss too. Second highest whiff rate.
Yeah, Volte gets a piece of it, but it's fouled.
Second highest whiff rate in his arsenal.
Well, he's been tough for the Athletics so far this season in his rookie campaign. Faced him twice. Talked about in the open. Has not allowed a run in the 11 innings, and begins with a strikeout. Goes back to the sweeper and gets Henry Volte as his first victim. And with one out, well, Nick Kurtz coming up. We'll take a look at the umpiring crew. It's Dylan Wilson calling balls and strikes. Nick Marley is at first. Ben May at second. And Trip Gibson's crew chief. He's at third base. There's Nick Kurtz looking to get back on track against the Halos here this weekend. It was a tough series for him in San Francisco. 0 for 12. Came up with 7 strikeouts in that series.
You know, but the one thing I think for Nick Kurtz, Jenny, he started to get things going in the 7th inning of that last game, as Urena quickly hit 0-2. But it was a walk for Nick Kurtz. I think towards the end of that inning, that just the at bat, you felt like, all right, starting to see some pitches a little differently, a little better, maybe a little sooner, starting to recognize some things.
It just doesn't feel fair, Dallas, to go from that changeup, go close to 90 miles an hour, to that pitch.
Well, it really, truly isn't. Because when you're talking about a guy who throws a changeup at 90 miles an hour, still a 10-mile-an-hour separation.
And it gets Kurtz on that changeup. So back-to-back strikeouts is the way Urena begins here tonight.
Well, You took us around the umpiring crew. Let's deep dive on Dylan Wilson, born on Christmas Day in 1989. So he's right at home here.
Wow, yeah.
6'7" lefty pitcher drafted by the Royals back in 2010 in the 43rd round. They don't have that anymore. Made his debut earlier this season, and he's only been overturned on 4 of the 13 challenges.
Ground ball to Neto, and Langoliers will be out at first. 3 up, 3 down. We'll move on to the bottom of the first. JT Ginn coming out. Bottom of the first here at the Big A. The Athletics and Angels hooking up here over the weekend, and the Angels lineup tonight looks like this, brought to you by your Sacramento area Chevrolet dealer. Zach Neto's their leadoff hitter, then it's Nolan Shonwell. Joe Adell hits third, Jorge Soler as the DH, Wade Meckler is hitting fifth, and then it's Guzman, Walton, Ohapi, and Lowe.
Shooter, hump shooter. JT Ginn on the bump for the green and gold. 15th start of the season for the right-hander. And we like to talk about consistency. We actually graded the club, Jenny, during the pregame with Chris Townsend and Shooty Babbitt, and you gave them a B-, which I understand and respect. I said C+ because there's been a lack of, I think, consistency. Well, in terms of consistency, I think JT Ginn has been just that, and a bright spot and a model here as of late. And I think being able to bounce back from rough starts and put together quality starts afterward shows some consistency, and that's what we have seen from this young man. I think from the first outing to now, he has grown immensely, and a lot of that has to do with the consistent work he also puts in between his starts.
And that's what I'm looking forward to today, Dallas, seeing what he can do. Back-to-back outings here against the Angels in this lineup. Just saw them last week in West Sacramento, went 5 1/3, had the 3 earned runs. So today, looking for a little more luck. Past a diving third baseman, Aliko Williams. Oh my goodness, he tried to get it there in time, but Neto able to leg it out. What an effort on the left side after Muncy couldn't get to the ball.
I'll be honest, Aliko Williams really has no business even making it this close based on where this ball was hit. I mean, Muncy laying out, but Aliko Williams essentially fielded this from a deep third base position. And the fact that he got the throw over there in just about a half step late and right on the money. And I tell you right now, understanding that Jacob Wilson probably taking some time because of that sore left shoulder, Aliko Williams is going to play a big role for this club moving forward. And whether it's in a depth role with Jacob Wilson healthy, whether it's filling in for Jacob Wilson should things not be able to move along as quickly as they'd like health-wise for him. But I think Aliko Williams has proved in more than one way that not only can he play here at this level and with this club specifically, but he has skill set. He has a skill set that can help.
He's done a phenomenal job when he's been in there defensively for this ball club. 1-1's the count for Nolan Shonwell. JT Ginn will check over at first on Neto. Neto 11 stolen bases for the Angels to lead the way this season. It's about a fourth of their stolen base production.
Yeah, he's swiped 11 bags, caught 7 times.
And just outside, 2-1. Well, picking up on the Jacob Wilson report, he is on the bench, and Mark Kotze said he could be available towards the end of the game if they need him. Did some testing today, hitting the cage, took some ground balls, so good signs there for Wilson, but set out yesterday. All this, of course, after an injury a couple days ago in a game that removed him. Then you have Zach Geloff, who hit the IL after getting cleated in the hand. There's a look at Jacob. Sitting there with the head trainer. And the pitch missing inside. So Shonwell will take his base. The first 2 reaching here for the Halos. Early traffic for JT Ginn with Joe Adell coming up. And we'll take a look at the Athletics defensively. It is Shea Langoliers doing the catching. Nick Kurtz, Jeff McNeil on the right side. You saw Aliko Williams and Max Muncy on the left side. In the outfield, left to right, it's Tyler Soderstrom, Henry Bolte, and Lawrence Butler. And there's Mark Kotze. That report on Zach Geloff was an MRI today for him, swelling inside the muscle area of the hand. So no baseball activity for Zach as he continues on the IL. A couple players missing here, but to your point, the depth being seen, and we're getting a nice showcase early of Alika Williams. Now looking for that first out here in the bottom of the first. An 0-1 count to Joe Adell. Filling up the strike zone for JT Ginn. Gonna check back again on Neto at second.
Well, Neto, like he was getting a little frisky over there at first, kind of waiting JT Ginn out to see if he was going to be able to dial up a strike.
And the ground ball chop foul down the third baseline.
And I think something I've noticed with the pitch timer and the way the guys are taking their leads these days at first base and at second base, kind of that shuffle. I think I've seen guys take more chances going from second to third with nobody out.
And a dealt shot back to the pitcher. JT Ginn jumps up to second. McNeil on to first. And the double play turn, just what the doctor ordered for JT Ginn.
Athlete. Go get him, shooter. And you'll watch JT Ginn weigh the option of getting Neto at third. Says, nay, let's go ahead and get 2 outs for the price of just 1 pitch. So he reroutes, slings it over to McNeil, who finishes it off on the back end. Able to take care of Adell as well. That's a big double play for JT Ginn.
Certainly is. You have Neto sitting at third with 2 outs now, and Jorge Soler up to bat. 220 for the season, 11 homers, 37 driven in, a swing and a miss. Well, you like seeing the 0-1 counts early here from Ginn.
Well, noting that instead of just, force feeding that sinker early, he's also been unafraid to use some of the secondary stuff, like that cutter.
We're talking about the growth of him over the course of the season. I think you just look back and see some of the adjustments he made in the offseason that have really helped him in the growth and maturity on the mound, especially with his repertoire.
Well, I think there's a few different reasons why he can draw comparison to Sonny Gray. Maybe not overly imposing figures physically, but you want to talk about bulldog competitor and the willingness to tinker and really create.
There's the 1-2 to Soler. And that'll be an even count.
I think about golfers on the golf course, Jenny, and sometimes based on the lie, you find yourself in between distances. And I mean, look, whether you're hitting out of the sand or whatnot have you, you're gonna have to try. You're gonna have to create shots. And I think he's been fantastic at creating different ways to find outs with his arsenal.
And a swing and a miss. Got Soler swinging on the sinker for strikeout for JT Ginn and leaves the runner stranded.
Welcome back. Knotted up at zeros as we head to the second. Time now for StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. Let's take a peek at the velo. About 97 plus on the 2 fastballs for Walbert Urania, the sinker, the four-seamer. Slow you down with a changeup, about 90-92, believe it or not.
Soderstrom swings at the first pitch. Here in the second, it's a ground ball to the first baseman, Nolan Shonowell. He'll take it to the bag. 1 pitch, 1 out.
He's also got that sweeping slider, about 86 miles an hour, Jenny. And right now his last 2 outs have come on 2 pitches. Langoliers would offer at the first pitch to end the first, and Soderstrom the first pitch here to start the second. And when you have this kind of velocity, I mean, the average heater, 97, 98, 4th best in the big leagues. He's been up to 101. But when you have that kind of arsenal, you can understand why guys might be aggressive against a guy like Ureña, because they just simply don't want to get to the secondary offerings, the changeup, the slider. And so you say, well, I guess I got to go up there and pick on a 95 to 100 mile an hour sinker or four-seam fastball. So if I get one of those early, I'm probably going to go, probably going to be aggressive. And if he's commanding the baseball, well, that can mean early outs and quick outs for Ureña, which means a longer outing.
You're right, and you definitely just highlighted a big word, if he's commanding the zone. And that one's going to be a foul ball from Jonah Heim. I say that because there's been a walk issued in each and every outing for Ureña, and he's had trouble at times with the command of that zone, but he did not against the Athletics in West Sacramento. First time he didn't allow a walk. Little dribbler back to the pitcher, and Ureña will field his position for the second out. Well, so far, I think pitch efficiency would work for this outing for Ureña. 5 batters faced through just 14 pitches.
Yeah, you know, it kind of reminds me of college, when in the fall you have a certain amount of pitches you're going to go out and throw, and you just face hitters, and it's a challenge, right? Let's see how many hitters I can face. Let's see how many outs I can collect in a 25 to 35 pitch outing. And now we start talking about 35 pitches. Sure, that's an extended inning, but the idea behind it was not only to build endurance, but also to be able to just see a hitter after a hitter after a hitter and learn how to feel the hitter and the varying approaches you might come across. But it's a challenge.
Butler with a ground ball to second, a high hop for Walton, and another quick 1-2-3 inning, this time using the Angels defense.
Welcome back. Time now for the Allstate Good Hands Play of the Day. Get up. JT Ginn fielding his position and doing it well. Able to get himself out of a spot with a couple runners on base. A nice double play. We've watched Ureña dial up some soft contact, some weak ground balls.
Wade Meckler swings at the first pitch from Ginn. It's bobbled by McNeil, but he recovers in time to retire Meckler. Well, 1 pitch, 1 out. This will get JT Ginn right back in the mix of things, with Guzman coming up.
McNeil doing a nice job of not panicking, staying calm.
And of course, talking to himself.
He's one of my favorite guys to watch, just to watch move around the baseball field.
You could have the live cam of Jeff McNeil, and that could be a separate feed that we have for an entire game, and I think fans would be very entertained. Speaking of entertaining, Denzer Guzman has been that for the Angels in the 14 games. He's played at third base for them. You got the opportunity to see him firsthand in West Sacramento as he takes a strike.
Well, he absolutely raked. 4 for 14 over the last series against the A's. 4 of those hits, Jenny, 3 long balls.
And this one hit well out to left field. It'll bounce in front of Tyler Soderstrom, and that'll be the first base hit for the Angels that left the infield.
Once again, Guzman doing a pretty nice job up there. Stays back on a slider. And Jenny, when the Angels had come to town and Guzman had just come up, he was at the time still third on the RBI list in the PCL. So understanding what kind of at-bats he was putting together at the lower levels, and obviously those opportunities bought him a chance here in the big leagues, and I think he's done a really nice job of taking advantage of that chance.
1-0 count here for Donovan Walton. A swing and a miss now off the changeup. 1-1.
Well, this was another guy who, during that last series, limited action, just saw him in a couple games, and by the end of it, we were kind of wondering why we hadn't seen him more. I mean, he hit 500 in the series.
He hit 500 on the entire road trip the Angels were on, and currently has an active 9-game hit streak going. Check over at first on Guzman. And that's what's interesting about the Angels. They've had to kind of dig into the depths of their roster to find some players to fill in with injuries this season, and the ones they found, and to your point with Meckler and Guzman, Walton, guys that have filled in nicely here for Kurt Suzuki.
Well, I think you could talk about those guys, and I think you might find out why the Angels, even though positioned where they're at in a division that has frankly been up for grabs since the first pitch of the season, there has been nobody that has been willing to try to take charge and take ownership of the division. I mean, they're one good series, and I said this last time, so they're one good series away from being right back in the thick of it.
That's what's crazy entering today. Halfway through the season, we look at the ALS standings. It's the Seattle Mariners on top. They were winners today. And after that game in Cleveland, 42-41 is their record, so they moved one game back above 500. But you have teams in the middle in the Athletics, the Rangers, the Houston Astros, kind of bunched up. They're 7.5 games out for the Angels. To your point,
well, and
that's a big week of baseball.
Well, it sure is. And when you think about the narrative surrounding the Angels right now, just with a lot of question marks about what direction they're heading as a club. I mean, obviously with the firing of the general manager earlier this afternoon.
That's strike 3. Inside corner painted with a sinker for JT Ginn.
JT Ginn, I mean, this is an absolute dot. At no point in time out of the hand was this pitch hittable for Walton. There was never a moment where he thought that's going to come back. I'm going to be able to get to it. Maybe I can even fight it off. That just wasn't an option. That was gross.
Second strikeout for Ginn, and with 2 outs, here's Logan O'Hoppe. He'll take the pitch high, 1-0. O'Hoppe had a nice road trip as well for the Angels. The last time they were out on the road and through West Sacramento, went 8 for 19, good for a .421 batting average, but struggled a bit here at home. Pops this up on the right side. McNeil into the grass in shallow right, and he will make the catch. So a hit for Guzman. He is left on, and we'll go to the third. Scoreless in Anaheim.
Well, the ultimate goal of an MLB fan, of course, you know, seeing it all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list. In and out for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. That's right, all 30. For more info, you can visit MLB.com/Journey to 30 sweeps.
Is the 35 spoken for? Did you put your money down?
I think it might have an interested buyer, just maybe.
I mean, that's sick. I think that needs to go into your collection. I'll read the price tag for you.
Yeah, that is... I don't know that I want to show that off. Maybe they're already sold, folks. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll go buy it for you. I think it was $3,000, so I'll keep the change. Called strike to Max Muncy. That's no surprise from Walbert Urania and the way he's gone out there today, filling up the strike zone. This one's popped up, and Logan O'Hoppe looking for it. It's well back and out of play. And not as far out of play as our booth, Dallas. So you can go ahead and sit back down, buckle up. Seatbelt sign is on.
Well, look, I would have made the catch and then dished it off over to Gooby next door, turning it into a decent double play combo. He and I.
These are going to be on the Peacock game together. Swing and a miss for Max Muncy. That is strikeout number 3 And Dallas, that is now 20 pitches, 19 of them for strikes.
Jenny, this is an absolute master class that we are witnessing right now in pounding the strike zone. Filling up the strike zone, wants to be pounding the strike zone when it grows up, and that's what's happening right now. Is Ureña is just absolutely hammering out strike after strike.
Let's see if Jeff McNeil can get to him here. He swings at the first pitch, sends it out to right field, and it's going to be a fly ball for Joe Adell to make the catch. 2 gone.
And this is precisely what I talk about when we discuss putting the offense on the defensive. Because right now, what these hitters have seen over the course of these first couple innings now are a guy who is coming right after them. So do you want to wait around? Do you want to go up there and take your at-bat starting 0-1 basically from the on-deck circle is what it feels like? Not ideally. I mean, these guys are comfortable working at bats.
Alika Williams takes a pitch, and that is just the second ball of the game out of the hand of Ureña. See the batting average for Alika in the small sample this season, 24 games, hitting .306. Fouls off the sinker, and he might have fouled it off himself as he hobbles around.
That didn't feel great.
No.
And you can see him as he continues to step around. It's barking a little bit. Ooh, right off the ankle.
Home plate umpire Dylan Wilson doing a nice job giving him a few extra seconds here to kind of catch his breath and obviously get that stinging feeling out of the legs before he gets back in the batter's box.
Well, we just watched Luis Arias pound a couple balls off of his leg last series. Did not see him in action.
Again
Oh,
for Alika
no.
Williams, and I was going to see if that might bring the trainer out.
Tell you, he is not feeling well.
Jeff Collins looking out there to see if he should come out, but stays put.
I promise you, this is not a replay of the first time. This one off the backside. Ouch.
Here's the 1-2. That's strike 3. 99. And Alika caught looking. 9 batters faced, all retired, 4 strikeouts for Ureña after 3.
We're kicking off July with a can't-miss holiday weekend as we host the Miami Marlins. That starts Friday, July 3rd. You can enjoy Friday's Country Hat from Sky River Casino, Saturday's Patriotic Fireworks, and Sunday's A's Pool Float Giveaway. I'm on that. Grab your tickets now at athletics.com/tickets and don't miss a single moment to celebrate America's 250th birthday.
Well, JT Ginn begins against the 9-hole hitter in Josh Lowe. 1-0. Lowe had to get out of the way. Ball went to the backstop, and you see that sunshine right on the pitcher's mound right now. A few shadows floating around the infield here at the Big A. And Lowe into right. It'll be a base hit to open up the 3rd.
Well, I think both guys have done a nice job of filling up the strike zone early and often here to start this ball game. The Angels, however, have found a way to reach base. Now the 3rd hit tonight for the Halos. But JT Ginn has done a pretty good job of being able to quiet any potential threat.
Back to the top of the order. First he'll check on Josh Lowe over at first. He's done that with just about everyone that's got on base. See the note there for Zach Neto, 117 strikeouts. I'm not sure that's the category you want to lead in Major League Baseball when all is said and done, but he currently is tied for the lead. Late swing and a miss up the slider, 0-1.
And look, I think something you can say with confidence about Zach Neto, it's a guy who I think we have watched make that decision and make that sacrifice with bat to ball in exchange for some power.
Started to take off. Ball goes to the backstop, and now moving up to second will be low. So we've got changing here for Neto. It'll be a wild pitch. Has a runner in scoring position.
A slider just too far down and out for Langoliers to even get a glove on.
I mean, is that sun just annoying at this point for the starting pitcher?
Mildly, because it's kind of right in your grill, especially if you're a right-hander dealing with any sort of base runners. You see it just shining onto the front side of JT Ginn.
Delivers the 1-1. This is chopped to Max Muncy. Runner will move up to third. He'll get the out at first. One gone.
Well, a pretty good read there from Josh Lowe. He realized Max Muncy was going to have to continue to charge, and even with Elijah Williams moving in behind to go man third base, not really an opportunity for Muncy to gather it and turn and make a play at third. So with one out and a runner on third, they will bring the infield in on the cut of the grass.
And here's Nolan Shonewall, who walked in the first inning. Swing and a miss. These numbers with runners in scoring position, just 174 this year. As a team, the Halos hitting 241 with runners in scoring position. That's going to be a foul ball. Tried to hold up, went off his bat, and it also caught Langoliers.
See it right off the barrel. Did look like Shea caught the brunt of that.
There's been some early scoring chances here for the Angels in the game. JT Ginn's been able to keep them off the board. 0 for 3 with Risp today. Yeah, you see everyone just trying to shade their eyeballs to catch a glimpse from that first base dugout that the Athletics are in. Here's the 0-2. High and inside. It was a large lead at third as well for Josh Lowe. Well, a tale as old as time. The sun will eventually go down.
Fact.
Just what time will that be? We've had the longest day of the year, so. This is popped up on the left side. Muncy getting all the way to the railing there for the Halos, but runs out of room. The Angels opened up their homestand against Baltimore. They had an off day yesterday. Won the series against the Orioles, and they did in walk-off fashion in their finale. A hot shot and a diving stop from Jeff McNeil. You said it. The infield was in off the cut of the grass. McNeil just had barely time to react.
And how about the smile on the face of JT Ginn? I mean, Jeff McNeil basically caught this ball behind him. You watch him lay out. I mean, that's about as far as you can stretch a Jeff McNeil. What a play.
Hi to Joe Adell, 1-0. You're going to call McNeil Gumby from now on?
I mean, man. Stretch McNeil strong. That was ridiculous.
Not through the woods yet. Have to get a tough customer here in Adell. There's the 2-0. And misses. outside. Dell grounded into the double play. That's a huge boost for JT Ginn after the first 2 batters of the game reached. Delivers a strike, 3-1. And the pitch. Swung on, fisted, and it's going to be caught by Alika Williams just as he touches the grass. So a runner stranded at third. Once again, thanks to some stellar defense by the second baseman. Venture mobile provider for better coverage and bigger savings with Xfinity Mobile, and get Wi-Fi plus 5G that won't strike out. Xfinity, imagine that. Gorgeous look at the beach down at Dana Point. Beautiful sunset as well. It is scoreless here in Anaheim. There's a couple miles north of that. Like an hour in traffic, if you will. Well, this is a strange sight, Dallas. Henry Bolte taking a pitch, and it was out of the zone.
It's only happened a few times so far tonight.
Robert Urania beginning behind the count, and he does it with 2 pitches out of the zone, 2-0. That's as many balls as he had the first time through the order. Two and one, went back to the trusty changeup. 4 strikeouts for Urania. His 15th outing of the season. Ground ball, sharply hit. High hop and taken by Walton. Bolte retired, 1 gone. And with Nick Kurtz coming up, let's get a word from Smud.
Smud's Clean Power City movement is happening. Hundreds of thousands are taking action, driving electric, making clean power choices, and saving money with Smud rebates. Together, we're changing the world. For 99 ways to join the charge, visit cleanpowercity.org.
And here's Nick Kurtz with 1 out. Kurtz struck out in the first. 10 batters faced for Urania. All have been retired. And he misses on Kurtz, so a 1-0 count. Last 10 games, the numbers for Nick: 231, the batting average, a couple doubles, 3 home runs, 10 RBI, and 7 runs scored. Leads all of Major League Baseball coming into tonight with runs batted in. And there's so many categories, Dallas, that you can look at Nick Kurtz and say, I'm sorry, he didn't end up in the top 2 for fan voting at first base in the All-Star game? What are we doing? Well hit, out to left field. This ball's going back. Meckler is going to catch it right before the wall. So Nick Kurtz just missing. That's the 2nd out.
Well, Kurtz gave a sinker a pretty good ride. This pitch staying up, and really a no-no nitro zone for Nick Kurtz. Ball's up out over the heart of the plate. I mean, that's where a lot of his power is, which is the other way. He's got power everywhere, but it's almost a hallmark of his.
Langelier swings at the first pitch and fouls it.
Yeah, Jenny, I've had no problem being vocal about the robbery that is Nick Kurtz not being higher up in that voting, and I also very well aware of why that is the case, especially when you consider who Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has supporting him. But there's no doubt in my mind that I think the majority of baseball fans understand just how impressive Nick Kurtz has been in his young career. I have no question he'll make his way to Philadelphia.
And hopefully be joined by Shea Langeliers, who is the top vote getter out of American League catchers. Alejandro Kirk finishing 2nd. And it is surprising because you look up and down every position in the American League as that first phase of voting has finished. It's a Toronto Blue Jay at every position.
Odd.
So good, kudos, kudos to Blue Jay Nation. They got out and voted. Swing and a miss here, and doing the damage tonight is the man on the mound. Urania finishes it off in the 4th with another strikeout.
Subaru of Oakland, home of pure pricing. Whether it's online or in person, with Pure Price, it's a win-win situation. Visit SubaruofOakland.com.
A green flash about to happen. I think that's what happens at sunset over the water. I've looked for it. I must blink when it happens because I've never actually seen it.
What, you not seeing something or hearing something? Stop it.
Sure. I'll get to the doctor, I'm sure. Get that hearing checked, the vision checked, all the things. JT Ginn has Jorge Soler to begin the 4th here. Listen, the music was absolutely blaring when we walked into the Big A today. And I get it. Everyone loves a little Christmas, so their Christmas promotion, Christmas in June, Santa's here, Mrs. Claus. He's trying to steal your job at the mall this offseason, Dallas. But like blaring Christmas music, it was tough. It was a tough one.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I hate to be a Scrooge, but I don't know where I'm at on the Christmas in June.
Yeah. Tough one. If you bring me a present tomorrow, though, I'll take it. This one well hit out to center field, moving back, Bolte, and he'll make the catch over his shoulder. So Jorge Soler retired, one gone.
And I love Christmas. I mean, Christmas is by far my favorite holiday.
I think you might need that wreath for the backyard. That rock fixture out there in center field has always reminded me of the rock fixture by your pool area. I think it looked nice.
Well, I have a sizable wreath at home that my wife twice a year, not terribly excited about. That's when we got to get it down, and that's when we got to put it back up.
Absolutely. Ball bounces into Wade Meckler, and he'll begin 1-0.
But I tell her, look, it lights up the neighborhood. It puts a smile on folks' face when they start coming down the lane, and they know they're home. It's Christmas.
Okay, just spreading joy. Fly ball out to shallow left center. Going back is Williams, and Soderstrom can't get there in time. Into second goes Meckler, and it's the first extra base hit for the Halos.
Well, it feels like this ball was just kind of perfectly placed. You'll see Alika Williams kind of have to try to track this ball, and by the time he gets out into a spot, you feel Tyler Soderstrom charging in. Bolte not close enough to make a play on it. I mean, just a tough play for all 3 defenders involved.
That is, and that Bermuda Triangle. So runner in scoring position now for Guzman. Guzman with one of the 4 hits for the Angels tonight. JT Ginn has had a base runner in all 4 frames now.
Well, that's kind of one part of the story when I talk about this really being 2 different clubs. JT Ginn with a sub-2 ERA on the road. It's 4th best in baseball.
Langelier is able to get to it quickly as Meckler stays put at second. Well, we know the highlight of the year, and maybe the low light too for JT Ginn, came right here on this mound, on this road game against the Angels back on May 18th. Had a no-hitter that he took into the 9th inning, and unfortunately it was Zach Neto ended up walking off the Athletics. Popped up here, and it'll get out of play. But I think that was just one example of really what JT Ginn and the body of work that he's been doing out on the road and where it started, putting him into the rotation. Dallas, you look back at the very beginning, right? Against the New York Mets. 4 scoreless innings there, just kept building up his pitch count, building up the innings work. He has been a shining star, especially on the road. I know a lot of the pitchers have had to deal with those splits, home and road, some more drastic than others.
Well, I think something that should be understood is just how much of a challenge it is to try to figure things out between 2 different drastic environments.
Strike 3. Throws Guzman. And that's number 3 for Gid.
We're talking about locking him up. Just 93 starts away, comes back over the outer third. And that's the 2nd time he's locked up an Anaheim hitter with a good sinker. This meeting on the mound now brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. Remember, we were highlighting the good series that Walton had last time these 2 teams hooked up. It was Walton, who back in the 2nd inning was locked up on a good front hip fastball, little back whipper. And that may have very well been part of the conversation with Scott Emerson there is, hey, remember how we went about our business last time?
Starts Walton off with a strike and a slider, but hopped away from Langoliers, and moving up to third is Meckler, taking advantage of 90 feet.
Well, and Shea frustrated with himself. Number 1, that the ball popped out, and number 2, that he ended up short hopping the throw. So you better watch your lips there, Dylan Wilson.
1-1's the count for Walton. So we've got slider fastball here. Any indication, Dallas, where you'd want to go next?
Well, I think this might be the time that you see a sinker away if they're going in.
And that's hit up the middle. Base hit for Walton brings home the first score of the game, and the Angels are up 1-0. It's a 10-game hit streak now for Walton, who added his 12th RBI of the season.
Well, it's a 4-seam fastball, inner third. And Walton just doing a pretty good job of really almost kind of fighting that pitch off. Didn't have a ton of barrel to it.
Pitch outside to Logan O'Hoppe.
Well, that's part of the reason why Walton is on the little run he's on right now. He's just found a way to get the fat part of the bat to the ball.
And O'Hoppe with a liner to left, but a diving catch for Tyler Soderstrom. That'll end the 4th. A couple of hits and a run ahead. The Angels up 1-0. Time now for the Blue Moon Bright Spot. We are officially a half of the way through the 2026 season, through 81 games. Here's where the Athletics stand: a 39-42 record. Kind of right behind Seattle there in the middle of the pack for the American League West. They came into tonight just a game and a half back. You see the home runs, the slug has come. Marcotte wanted it. They're 7th, but they've given up a lot of home runs. And you look at that road ERA versus the home ERA, very different for this pitching staff. The starters ranked 29th overall. The bullpen ranks 27th. Of course, the defense has been the bright spot for the Athletics. 31 errors on the year, and that's top 5 when it comes to defensive standings. So as Tyler Soderstrom's up here in the top of the 5th, Dallas, I want to get your thoughts on some of those numbers the way we saw this team coming into the year. And then maybe when we talked about our grades, I kind of feel like I did it on a bit of a sliding scale based on what the rest of the division is doing.
Sure. No, and that makes sense. I think for me, there's a certain level of expectation, and that's because I know what this group is capable of. I know that man right there knows what they're capable of and the expectations that he has. And in my opinion, this group is just far too talented to kind of sit where they do right now. And that's not a knock on them. I think what it is it's understanding that, number one, they have had to deal with some injuries.
Well, look at this.
How about it, Tyler Soderstrom?
We got to walk, but first we're going to have an ABS challenge by Logan O'Hoppe. Or was that a pitcher challenge?
No, that's... I think that was Urania.
Anaheim has one challenge remaining.
Either way, it's a free pass and a leadoff runner and a base runner for the Athletics for the first time tonight here to start the fifth. But to your point, Jenny, about the sliding scale and the rest of the division and me having the expectation I do for this group, it's understood that they've had some challenges, not only from a health perspective.
There's the ground ball, bounce to first, Shonowell to second, and safe at first. So Heim able to leg it out and avoid the double play. Well, Marcotte's hands up. We'll see if the Athletics want to take a look at this, and they decide to roll on.
Well, Shonowell able to clear a little space and just get the throw over early enough that Neto able to hold the bag, and Jonah Heim able to hit the front of the bag at first and avoid the double play.
Brings up Lawrence Butler with one on and one out. Pitch outside, so we're seeing a lot more misses here from Urania in the last two frames than we saw through the first three.
Well, and sometimes base runners are exactly what the doctor ordered, and that can change everything. But just to put a bow on the point I was making, if you haven't necessarily been healthy together all year, and when you have, it's been in short bursts, it's tough to kind of create some momentum for yourself. I think we've seen some turnover on the pitching staff. We've seen some guys in different roles bounce back and forth and just try to gain their footing there. Understanding you're dealing with a tough environment in the ballpark that you call home, which it is what it is.
Right.
And I'll always say it's not an excuse, it's reality, and you can't just ignore that part of reality, because it would be like, in my opinion, tantamount to going, oh, okay, but we understand you've been playing baseball in Colorado for a while. Can you just figure it out? Well, the answer's been no.
Yeah.
For quite a while, and you had a front row seat to that, Jenny, for quite a while, so you understand.
Yeah, throwing a lot of things at the board, seeing what can stick, and clearly nothing's changed over the 30+ years that they have been there. But you're right, it's a unique situation because this isn't your home ballpark long term. It's a temporary home ballpark in West Sacramento that you have to figure out and work to your advantage in the short term. And another ball missing. It's going to be two base runners here for Urania, both of them via a walk. Of course, Jonah Heim replaced Soderstrom at first on his ground ball out. But this could be the pressure, just to your point, that the Athletics needed to put on the young starter.
Well, we're going to have a little meeting on the mound. That meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. So Hoppy just trying to figure out a way to get Urania back into the strike zone. And that's right now, these two at bats this inning between Soderstrom and Butler have really been the bright spot of the offense for the Athletics.
It's been multiple walks allowed now by Walbert Urania in 7 of his last 8 starts. Of course, his last start against the Athletics was able to keep a free pass off the base path, but that's the only start this season for him. Big opportunity for Max Muncy. Runner in scoring position for the first time. Athletics trail 1-0. The Angels were able to cash in off a 1-out double from Meckler. And Donovan Walton driving him in for their lone run. One. Muncy was 3 for 10 over that San Francisco series, drove in 4 runs.
Well, I think this has also been something that we have seen with Ureña. As good as he has been tonight, we've seen him really dialed in both starts, but at times losing command of the strike zone and still being able to figure out ways to navigate the traffic he creates for himself is why he's posted the numbers he has against the Athletics.
Check swing foul for Muncy, 2-2.
The 11 shutout innings.
And a ground ball up the middle, and it's going to bounce off the second baseman. Bases loaded for the A's. Walton got there, but it just went off the heel of his glove.
Well, Walton had to range a bit towards the middle of the diamond. See, it's just about 4 or 5 steps or so, but then this ball, as it hits right there, kind of pops up as Walton goes into that little knee slide.
Jeff McNeil swings at the first one and through on the right side. Here comes the tying run. Lawrence Butler waved around, and the throw home is late. The Athletics up 2-1, and Jeff McNeil just picks up where he left off yesterday.
And once again, no waiting around. Jeff McNeil aggressive in his first at bat against Ureña. Same story here in the 5th. Catches a 90-mile-an-hour seeker out front, able to turn on it, pull it right through that hole. And there's not a ton of space over there on that right side, believe it or not. Something we haven't been able to save with left-handed hitters for a while.
This meeting on the mound is brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. Conversation trying to settle down the young starter in Ureña, just 22 years old, from the Dominican Republic. But really, when you look at the Angels and their struggles, I mean, he has been a bright spot in that rotation. You look at where his ERA was coming into the game today, just 2.14. And for the A's, those 2 runs, the first they have scored against him this year in their 3rd opportunity. Now, Alika Williams up. Runners on the corners, squares around a bunt, fouls it off.
Well, and after you're able to work a couple walks and you get a couple of knocks back to back, it feels like you're starting to figure out the code that is Ureña. And those numbers tell you just how tough of a customer he's been at home, on the road.
0-1, swinging away, and a foul ball. And the 0-2, a ground ball up the middle and through. Bring home the run in Max Muncy. It's 3-1. To third base goes Jeff McNeil, and moving up to second is Alika Williams on the errant throw. What a little patience at the plate can open up. This inning all started with a walk from Tyler Soderstrom.
Well, and that's twice now that Walton has not been able to handle the backhand ground ball. This ball virtually in the same spot. And Walton, you can see, pound his glove as he comes up empty once again. McNeil able to get over to third base. And Alika Williams able to creep into second on the throw.
Flips the order over to Henry Bolte with 1 out. No 1 count as he misses the changeup.
This ball just under the glove, not touched at all this time by Walton.
The air given to the center fielder in Josh Lowe, but Alek Williams picking up the single. It was the 3rd hit, 3 consecutive hits after the Athletics were being no hit. You see the errors, 52 of them for the Angels this season, tied for 4th most in all of baseball. 1-2 now for Bolte.
Oh, and how quickly the tides have turned here for Ureña.
Infield in for the Angels. And pitch bounced in, a nice block from O'Hoppe.
And only 3 times this season has Ureña given up 3 or more earned runs. Tonight, the 4th.
Here's the 2-2. A ground ball and through on the left side. Bring home the 4th run in Jeff McNeil out of 5th. Alek Williams slides in. It is 5-1. Henry Bolte cashing in with a couple more RBI.
What an unraveling right now for Walbert Ureña. You know, I think it's fair to say that there was a couple balls hit back up the middle that were playable, but not able to be secured, and the Athletics have taken full advantage of that.
Here's Nick Kurtz with a runner on first and just 1 out. I'll check over on Bolte.
Well, now 5 earned runs. Well, 4 at this point with the error.
You said it, the first 12 batters faced, Ureña was absolutely dealing. Had 5 punch outs, 5 ground ball outs, a couple of fly ball outs, faced the minimum. Threw 36 pitches through those first 4, 31 for strikes. And now you see the pitch total here in the 5th alone sitting at 27. A couple of walks and 4 consecutive hits strung together by these Athletics. Ground ball and foul in the first base line.
Well, it's got to feel great right now for the Athletics to be able to chip away and get to a guy in Ureña who started off so hot tonight.
Here's the 1-1 to Kurtz, missing low. Kurtz in an 0 for 15 stretch. Trying to climb out of a funk. Of course, some questions about Kurtz as of the last week, and Marcotte had to kind of laugh about it. And they're going to have Bolte go to second.
Yep, you had your shot. Mike Maddox looking on as he watched this starter go from really incapable of throwing a ball to having a tough time getting outs here in the 5th.
After the disengagement violation, Brent Suter now warming up in the pen for the Angels. Here's the 2-2. And Kurtz hits one up the middle. Add a hit, add a run. Bobby Crosby waving in Henry Bolte. It's 6-1.
We'll talk about opening up a can right now. That's exactly what the Athletics have done here in the 5th against Urania. And he's just out there wearing it right now. Watch your lips. Here comes Alenia. Bolte around to score with ease. And the Athletics, Jenny, have now sent 9 men to the plate.
See if Langoliers can get in on the action here. Shea 0 for 2 tonight, including a strikeout. Just 1 hit in San Francisco. You see his average by the month started so hot in the month of April. Hit 324. It's dipped down to just 193 this month. Kurtz is going to take advantage of the ball squirting past O'Hoppe, and he gets into scoring position for his catcher.
Everything turning up green and gold here in the 5th. This ball able to get through O'Hoppe, who can't quite pin it down. That'll go wild pitch for those scoring at home.
Talked about his success in Urania against the Athletics this season. First 15 innings, you see it, Dallas. No runs, 8 hits. I think the A's were tired, and Langoliers does add. Gets down and left. Kurtz getting waved home. Here comes the throw from Meckler. It's cut off. How about a 7-1 score? And it's all unfolded as the A's have hit around here in the 5th.
Well, I got to believe that's going to be it for Urania, and it is, as Kurt Suzuki is going to make his way to the mound now to go get his starter. 98 inner third. Gotcha. Langoliers able to beat him to the spot. Here comes the big fella to put a cap on the night for Urania after a big inning here in the 5th. The bats woke up and got loud for the A's. We're going to take a break. 7-1 Athletics here in the top of the 5th. Still 1 on, 1 out. It'll be Suter B on the bump for the Halos when we come back.
Telecast is presented by authority of the Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics.
Well, 9 batters have come up here in the top of the 5th for the Athletics. 7 have scored off of 6 hits, and that makes that sunset all the more pretty for the green and gold. They ran Walbert Urania out of the game, just 4 1/3 for him. 7 earned runs off those 6 hits. He did have 2 walks as well, 5 strikeouts, but Dallas, wow. The start that he had against these A's, they just had to wait him out. And in time and a half through the order, able to finally get to him, starting with Tyler Soderstrom, who's already back up.
Well, and it's Soderstrom against Brent Suter right now. 31st appearance for the Southpaw. Veteran lefty for the Halos out there to try to figure out a way to bring this inning to an end here without any more damage. Urania still responsible for Shea Langoliers over at first, so it's 7 earned runs for now. Surrendered by Urania, a season high. But Jenny, it's the walk from Tyler Soderstrom that started it all. That's what got the inning going. And then from there, some balls in play. But the Butler walk, not able to make a play a couple different times on balls up the middle that Walton couldn't get a backhand on.
It's hard to believe this is the biggest inning that the A's have had this season, scoring the 7, all of 6 consecutive hits the way this game started. And that is baseball for you in a nutshell, isn't it?
It sure is.
Of course, the A's hoping they're not done here. Tyler Soderstrom with a foul ball.
Yeah, but that's why on any given night, depending on what kind of performance you get from the starting pitcher, baseball could show you something you just simply don't expect.
Taken off is Langoliers, and in at second. Stolen base number 2 for Shea. 1-2 count here for Soderstrom. One out and runner in scoring position. Puts a good swing on it into the gap, and it's going to be caught out there by the left fielder in Meckler. So that'll send Langoliers back to second, and just the second out now here in the fifth.
Well, ball hit hard, but Meckler able to get underneath it. That'll bring up Jonah Heim for the second time here in this fifth inning. Jonah would ground out to Shonawell. Fielder's choice. Halos tried to turn the double play, were unable to do so. And imagine if they were able to log that double play, this inning could have gone very, very differently. But Heim beat it by a half step. And from there, the A's just proceeded to beat the baseball.
Brent Suter has Heim 0-2. Lefty leans in. Checks back on the runner and delivers the pitch low and away. Heim's been a hero a time or two, hasn't he, in the last couple weeks?
He sure has. He's had no problem coming off the bench and getting big hits late in the game doing so.
Great to see the rally that the A's put together yesterday.
Well, yeah, it was the ninth inning when Heim came up, shot a ball down the left field line in San Francisco. Bolte would lead the inning off with a single. Soderstrom would walk. And then Jonah Heim with a punch job down that left field line. Shed some brand new light on that ball game that the A's were able to walk away winners from.
Here's the 3-2 in the air to right. Coming in is Joe Adell. And the right fielder will make the catch. So the inning over, but 11 came up, 7 scored, and the A's are up by 6. Take the A's on the go and stream the games on the NBC Sports app, brought to you by Toyota. Well, that was a fun half inning for the Athletics. They scored 7 runs off 6 consecutive hits, and those are their first hits of the ball game. They were getting blanked by Robert Urania. All of a sudden, they ran him out of the ball game, giving JT Ginn a 6 spot here as he begins the bottom of the 5th against the bottom of the order. Josh Lowe up, the 9-hole hitter for the Halos. What's the effect of this on JT Ginn? You sit there, you're excited, you're getting obviously run support going, but you're sitting there for quite a bit of time.
That's it. You're sitting there, and I mean, if there is a side effect, it's just that the body stiffens up a bit.
And McNeil can't get to that one. A base hit for Lowe. And McNeil is still down, shaking out the wrist that he landed on.
Well, you hope he's okay. Yelling at the dirt. And this is what you're looking at, him just kind of roll up and over that wrist. Looks like he'll be fine.
The second hit of the night for Lowe, and it turns it over to Zach Neto. He'll take a pitch, 1-0.
Neal continuing to move that left shoulder around.
Hole on the right side here for Neto as McNeil's positioned closer to second base, and Kurtz holding the runner and Lowe on first. Neto had an infield hit to open up the game, 1 for 2 tonight. 5 hits against JT Ginn. And the Halo scored their lone run in the 4th, but the Athletics had a big answer for them in that 5th inning. The crooked number was the most runs scored by the A's in a frame this year at 7, and it was a very poor performance for the Angels from a historic perspective. Here's the 2-1. Foul tip. The 7 runs allowed, the 1 error, the 1 balk, the 1 wild pitch in an inning. The last team to have all those things happen in one frame, Dallas, the Mets, back in 1998.
Wow.
Against the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field.
Almost 30 years ago.
That was many moons ago. I think you were in middle school. Ground ball. And Alika Williams to second, on to first, but the throw's going to be too late. So they get the lead runner for the first out as Neto replaces Lowe at first.
Great job by Alika Williams to see him drop to that knee, sling it over quickly to Jeff McNeil, who with the speed of Neto and the hustle down the line, not able to complete the 6-4-3. Neto beat it by a fair margin.
They have Nolan Shonowell. Here was 1 out and 1 on. Swings at the first pitch, a miss, and he also loses his helmet. Does his best Nick Kurtz, if you will, right there. Bringing up the Mets in that historic context makes you think of the Mets today. And of course, the big news out of New York is Carlos Mendoza was fired this morning. So there's been some big moves around baseball. The news here for the Angels, their general manager Perry Manassian let go before the ball game. I guess as we're grading a team halfway through the season, it is about that time, right?
Well, and speaking of time, I know some are, I don't know if questioning is the right word, but honestly, it feels like that might be the only word when you think about it. The timing of really both moves. You know, could these have been moves that were made earlier?
Right.
And if so, would the impact that they would hopefully have be able to change the course of the team's seasons in time? And I think that was kind of the messaging coming out of New York, right? Was, hey, that doesn't necessarily mean that we've thrown in the towel.
And a swing and a miss for Shonowell. 4th strikeout for Ginn. 2 gone.
Well, JT Ginn has, I think, showed time and time again that this pitch will continue to be a big-time weapon for him, and that's that 4-seam fastball.
Joe Adell 0 for 2 tonight. Swings at the first pitch, high in the air, out to right field. Lawrence Butler is gonna leap up, but ran out of room. A Joe Adell 2-run homer, and it's now 7-3.
Well, Adell just caught a sinker, it looks like, that starting to come back. As far as east to west is concerned, this ball out on the very corner of the zone, but elevated enough that Joe Adell able to extend on it. And we know what kind of power Joe Adell comes with. Should he be able to extend those arms, he can punish it.
11th homer of the season for Adell. JT Ginn, that's the first home run he's allowed since June 9th against Milwaukee. Of course, that was in Las Vegas.
Well, I jokingly said, Jenny, I think my ERA went up in Las Vegas just by being there.
Just by getting off the plane.
Anybody there. getting out of there with an ERA still in the single digits, I think you could say survived.
Did your batting average go up too? Did you get a couple more homers?
It did not. That would have been something I would have appreciated. But man.
3-1 count here for Soler. And the pitch. This one high in the air, out towards left. It's going towards the foul line, and a catch from Aliko Williams. Wow, what a distance the shortstop ran to make the final out of the fifth. The 2-run homer added. It's now 7-3 A's.
Howdy, A's fans. You can kick off the holiday weekend with us. That's next Friday, July 3rd, as we take on the Marlins. Early arriving fans can score an exclusive A's country hat, proudly presented by Sky River Casino. You can grab your tickets today at athletics.com/promotions.
Well, howdy, partner. Which holiday is coming up? Because I'm very confused in Anaheim here today. A couple of strikes to Lawrence Butler as he begins the 6th inning. Brent Suter continuing to work out of the pen. It is Christmas in June, supposedly.
Well, the A's unwrapped Urena. Got themselves an early Christmas present.
Certainly did. A 7 spot in that 5th inning. That's strike 3.
Well, the crafty left-hander, Brent Suter. Just dotting up a little sinker, looked like it might have had a little cut on it. But with the angle.
First pitch high to Max Muncy. Muncy with an infield hit, loaded the bases in the 5th. Max's infield single was the very first hit of the game in that 5th inning, and then all the A's got involved. Jumping up and missing it is Walton, so another hit for Muncy. 2 for 3.
Well, and this one as well, just out of the reach of Walton. It was that shot up the middle that Walton couldn't get to off the bat of Muncy, and now this one just over the head of the second baseman. Get up! Nope, not quite. That'll come down a winner.
Speaking of winners, that's where Jeff McNeil has been, in the winner's circle the last couple of games. Had a 3-hit game in San Francisco, drove in the first 2 runs here tonight with his hit in the 5th. Takes a strike that he's not quite certain about, but not quite willing to challenge. Are these Christmas carols that the crowd's starting to sing?
I don't quite think so. It is a multi-layered display of fandom.
It's a great description. Bounce in the dirt, 2-2. We've seen Jeff McNeil at different times this year a lot of success at the plate, obviously coming over from the Mets. As a contact hitter. Not a lot of strikeout in his game as Suter checks over on Muncy. But we've also seen him at times of struggle. The last 39 games hitting just 172. That was after he opened up the season, the first 35 games hitting 309. So I know there's been frustration, but it was really nice to see him open up yesterday and be a big part of the offense in their comeback victory.
Well, you got to give a lot of credit to Jeff McNeil, and this is why he's been so important to this young club, is because it's the veteran display of work ethic that these guys get to watch unfold each and every day. And they know, teammates know when a guy isn't going good, and you can kind of take a step or two back and watch them and how they go about their business. Are they somebody who...
McNeil chopped to first. Shonowell quickly on it. Angels look to turn two as Suter gets to the bag before McNeil. Double play ends things in the top of the sixth. Mark Kotze's hand up, might check it inside. They will not. So we will play on to the bottom of the... Get all your highlights, analysis, live updates, and more. Everything an athletics fan needs. The NBC Sports California app. Download now. Here's a little A's fan. Aw, that's cute. Kind of had those sleepy eyes too, didn't he?
Thanks for bringing me to the ball game, Mama.
So cute. Pitch high here for Wade Meckler. JT Ginn at 75 pitches. Meckler 1 for 2. Double scored the lone run that the Angels had in the fourth. That's when the Athletics were able to string together a bunch of offense in the fifth, score their 7. And then Joe Adell added a 2-run homer. This one's hit sharply out to right field. Lawrence Butler will back it up and make the catch. One down, and that'll bring up Guzman. Now you see the action going in the Athletics pen. Jose Suarez and Luis Medina both warming up.
Again at 77, set to deliver his 78th pitch.
Guzman swings at it, and a seeing eye single into left field.
Well, now a 2-hit night for Guzman. It'd be great for JT Ginn to roll up a double play here and buy himself maybe a couple more innings worth of work.
Got himself one in the first inning. The ground ball is right back to him. See what he can do against Walton, who squares around in the bunt attempt foul. Walton's 1 for 2 with an RBI single.
Well, I'm trying to figure out a way to wear that one. Got to make a business decision, though.
Could have channeled his best Joe Adell. He's been hit by a few pitches this year and in his career. 2-1 now. Holding up to a 10-game hit streak with his single in the third. Into right field, Lawrence Butler there to make the catch. Lawrence getting some work here in the sixth, 2 gone. Bring up the catcher in Logan O'Hoppe. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Fouls off the first pitch, and he will now hobble around as it caught a piece of his lower half.
The last few starts for JT Ginn, he's been right around that 100 pitch mark. Has not gotten to it, but 97, 98, 98 in his last 3 outings.
Here's the 0-1. It's fouled back. Pitch 85 on the way now. And O'Hoppe fouls this back towards us, but it's not going to get into our booth. At the right distance. Just a little high. I'm just sitting here waiting for it to come down.
Not asking for too much, am I?
You know what? I'm proud of myself. I stood my ground. You stood up. You were going to try and bully me for the ball, and I had the angle.
I think that's you wisely making the decision, knowing that I'm going to jump in front of you and save your life.
These chairs do have rollers. I could easily have pushed back quickly. Sure. It all went through my mind. But stealing a ball from you, now that would be the best Christmas gift of all, and I can celebrate that holiday in June.
Oh.
1-2 count. JT Ginn looking to put away O'Hoppe, get through 6. 2-2 now. Oh, do we have to go here?
Oh, I wasn't going to bring it up, but
My favorite part is before he even caught the ball, I think Chris Carey was giving you a hug.
The Chris Carey backpack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The koala bear at his finest. Claws were dug in. He almost had to fight off the big 6'5" fella just to get the baseball.
Felt like a mother possum.
Got some experience. Here's the 3-2, runner taken off, a swing and a miss. JT Ginn gets the strikeout and gets through 6.
Folks, you can go beyond the dugout with Max Muncy. From getting the ultimate call-up to navigating the highs and lows of the big leagues, Max breaks down the milestones and mentors that made him the player he is today. Don't miss episode 7 of Beyond the Dugout, presented by Visit Las Vegas. That streams right now at athletics.com/Beyond the Dugout.
And you're going to have to listen to the episode, or at least watch the episode, before the Dodgers come to town next Monday for the Max Muncy showdown. Check swing foul for Alika Williams.
And believe it or not, Jenny, we do touch on that.
I figured you did. That's
So
why I was teasing it.
There's some anecdotes in there from our Max Muncy.
Yeah, that's going to be fun and confusing for a lot of baseball fans. We'll have to see what the combined totals are for the Max Muncys over a 3-game set. Close pitch, Alika Williams takes 1-2. It's great to have Max healthy, back on the squad, especially in the absence now of Zach Geloff, who has been so instrumental in keeping this ball club together through his defensive versatility. Strike three. Alika Williams down on strikes for the first out here in the 7th.
Well, and I think Alika initially thought about challenging this pitch. Felt like it was a close pitch. Maybe slightly elevated. Looks pretty good there.
Brent Suter came in relief for Urania. That was back in the 5th, and he continues to work now here in the 7th with 1 out. Henry Bolte takes the pitch high.
You know, and I can understand that it's kind of happened the way it has, but Max Muncy and his contributions and the work that he has put in, I think have kind of almost taken a back seat to the return of Zach Geloff and the way he came in swinging the bat, playing defense all over the diamond. The fact that Bolte has gotten off to the start that he has, and obviously the tear that Shea Langoliers was on early in the season, but then the hot streak that we saw Nick Kurtz go on. I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of positives to highlight, and I do think that Max Muncy is one of them, but at times feels like it's kind of been back burner just because of the things I mentioned.
Well, that's what makes a great team, right? That's what makes a winning team, when you can share the wealth of the offense. You're not relying on 1 or 2 guys each and every night. And we thought at spring training this could be a very potent offense if everyone was clicking at the same exact time. And we still haven't even really seen that, Dallas, right? We haven't seen everyone together, and that's strike 3 for Bolte. Well, Bolte's arguing now with the umpire.
Oh, I love it.
And Bolte seems to win the argument, as Logan O'Hoppy's now going to take things up with Dylan Wilson.
And Logan O'Hoppy's saying he just chopped down on it and caught my glove because it's catcher's interference. Now watch this. Right there. O'Hoppy going down to get the ball and bringing it up. Catches the glove of, or Bolte catches the glove of O'Hoppy on the swing. And Kurt Suzuki saying the same thing, but he swung down. He swung down and he swung backwards. And O'Hoppy's saying, well, look, I caught the pitch first, and then the glove is made contact with. And I think if you understand the order of operation, you can understand where Kurt Suzuki and Logan O'Hoppy are coming from right now. If I catch the pitch before he swings at it, he's out, is what they're thinking. That's their argument. And he's saying, how can he be rewarded first base if the ball crosses the plate, my catcher receives it, and then he makes contact with the glove?
Well, Kurt Suzuki hot. And you can understand from the catcher's perspective, rightfully so. And now the third base umpire, Trip Gibson, the crew chief, I believe, just ejected him. So he's going to get his money's worth and have a conversation with the crew chief now.
And Kurt Suzuki would know a thing or two about catcher's interference. It's been 15 years. And Kurt Suzuki is remarking about the swing, telling you, you know that's not a great swing. You know that, you can see it, everybody in the park sees it. Make the call. Let's go.
Second ejection of the season for the former Athletic at the home for the Halos.
And again, I think if you think about it, right, the ball is caught and secured, and then the glove is made contact with. What did the glove interfere with? I've already caught the ball. So I can understand where both individuals are coming from. Matt?
First disengagement for Brent Suter. Well, we've seen a little bit of everything in this ball game, haven't we?
We sure have.
And taking off is Bolte. Throw down from O'Hoppe, but it's high. So Henry Bolte has now stolen 10 bases.
Bolte with a pretty good head start here. Easily swiped second.
1-1 to Nick Kurtz, and a called strike off the sinker. Kurtz tapping his helmet for an ABS challenge.
No, Kurtz very quickly challenged his pitch. Looked a bit down. We'll see what they say. Indeed down. This ABS challenge presented by T-Mobile.
In Nick Kurtz, I trust. That's my ABS shirt. And the 2-1 bounces in. Hitters count here for Kurtz, who has come up with an RBI single in the game today. And the pitch. Fouled, and Kurtz will take a little walk around.
There's some fans that are still not quite over the catcher's interference call.
I thought that was Merry Christmas. I couldn't quite make it out. And the payoff pitch. Kurtz with the drive out to center field. A base hit for Nick Kurtz. A run coming home. Make it 8-3.
Well, Nick Kurtz just cuts a 90-mile-an-hour soft serve heater right in half. And Bolte, who reached on catcher's interference, promptly stole second base. In to score, second RBI of the night for Nick Kurtz.
Swing and a miss for Langoliers. Good to see Kurtz with a multi-hit effort here after an 0-for weekend against the Giants. Langoliers fouls it back. Bring it back to phase 1 of the All-Star voting. Langoliers is in first place for American League catchers, and you can start voting in phase 2 coming up on Monday. So make sure to get that done at MLB.com or athletics.com. And it's shocking that he's up against Alejandro Kirk of the Toronto Blue Jays, because all the Blue Jays are in there. This is in foul territory, and it will get out of play.
Yeah, pretty impressive considering what the Blue Jays fans have done. Luis Medina still throwing, and I feel like with the score the way it is, Jenny, that might be a signal that could be the ball game for JT Ginn.
Well, if it is, in line for a quality start here. And a ground ball through for Shea Langoliers. Dallas, it's hard to see when Kurtz and Langoliers have been scuffling a bit together, but tonight, in step.
Well, and this is what this offense looks like when both of these guys are swinging the bat the way that they're capable of swinging it. Langoliers for the second time tonight going to pick on the left side and find a hole. Mike Maddox out now just to try to slow the momentum that's building here for the Athletics as the Halos get their bullpen going. It's Jose Fermin starting to toss now. Dylan Wilson, home plate umpire, on his way out. He hasn't made many friends with the Halo battery here as of late.
By the way, John Gibbons has taken over managing the Halos now, the bench coach for Los Angeles after Kurt Suzuki was ran for the second time this season in his rookie year as a manager. And there's the former Blue Jays manager. Kind of how their coaching staff is made up as Tyler Soderstrom swings at the first pitch out to right field. A catch for Joe Adell. That'll make out number 2. Well, Perry Manassian, the then general manager, hired Suzuki and kind of surrounded him with some veteran presence. Got Gibbons in there. Of course, I mentioned Mike Maddox, the pitching coach. Guys who've been around the block, had a lot of experience. And now today, Perry Manassian fired, so you sense changes coming all the way down the line. Although Suzuki did just sign that 1-year contract, so it'll be interesting. Jonah Heim out towards left center field. This ball is carrying, and it's going to bounce on over. Kurtz comes in, and Langoliers is going to have to head on back to third. An automatic double for Jonah Heim at an RBI. It's 9-3.
Well, here comes Gibby, and here comes Fermin. That'll be all for Brent Suter. He tried to come in and do his level best just to keep the ball game respectable. Jonah Heim able to open up on 88 in. And you could almost see Meckler start to just give way to the center fielder, Lowe, who not able to quite get there, and that ball is going to bounce off the track and onto the other side of the wall. And coming from the other side of the wall is Jose Fermin. 2 on 2 outs, and we come back.
This telecast is brought to you by River Rock Casino. Join us for your chance to win a share of $340,000 tomorrow, June 27th.
Well, Jonah Heim's automatic double picked up another run for the Athletics, and now up is Lawrence Butler with 2 on, facing Jose Fermin with 2 outs here in the 7th.
21st appearance for the right-hander in relief of Brent Suter. Just been a rough night for the Halos pitching staff.
The A's have certainly taken advantage. They did not have a hit, did not have a run through the first 4 frames. In fact, did not have a base runner.
Well, it looked like it was going to be a quick and painless game for the Halos, the way Ureña was throwing the baseball.
It certainly did.
But that's why you play all 9 innings at least, because that 5th inning would be one that Ureña just could not get a grasp on.
Here's the 1-2 and a swing and a miss. So Butler strikes out on a sinker, and it is time to stretch here in Anaheim. A 6-run lead for the A's.
Time now for the play of the day, presented by your California Ford dealers. And what a 5th inning it was. 7 runs would come across and score at the hands of the Athletics, who found different ways to get on base and found every way to drive them runners in. My goodness. Biggest inning of the season so far for this offense, Jenny, and it, I think, came on a day just after a very big win as well, where they saw their offense put together a big inning they were able to benefit from late in the ball game. And that was a 2-out rally in the 9th. This one here a little earlier in the ball game. And speaking of in the ball game, it's Luis Medina, 27th appearance, 4.29 ERA for the right-hander. Would love to see Medina be able to chew into a couple innings here. After a nice night for JT Ginn. 89 pitches for the right-hander, 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, all 3 earned. Quality start with 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. Did allow the homer to Joe Adell. But all in all, a fantastic outing. Medina sits down low on strikes. 99 up top. Come and get it. 101, excuse me.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know what you saw on the radar gun, but I saw 3 digis.
That's right.
I saw 3 digis there.
Medina out there blowing chundos.
Man, bring the heat. Gets the strikeout of Lowe, and he now has Zach Neto with 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Speaking of hundos, what did you tell me that Jacob Mizorowski threw today?
105.5.
And we round up at 0.5 or 0.6?
0.5 you round up. That means it's 106.
Whew.
Absolute petrol.
I mean, that's just like a blur. By the time it leaves his hand, it's in a glove, right?
That's what it feels like. I mean, the fact that he's got more extension than anybody in baseball, but is also generating that kind of velocity. What a special, special talent.
The Brewers beat the Cubs as they open up a rivalry weekend in Milwaukee. 6-2 is the final there. Swing and miss for Neto. Goes to the changeup. Medina does. Back-to-back Ks.
Well, Jenny, that's now 118 strikeouts on the season for Zach Neto. And I always love to do this, and you know I do. Remember, it took Tony Gwynn in his first 4 seasons that he logged 300 or more at bats to get to 112 strikeouts. First 4 seasons.
And we're not talking shortened seasons.
No. I mean, the first year that qualifies him was back in 1983. He had 304 at bats. From there, it was 606, 622, and then 642 at bats. So over those 4 seasons, from 1983 to 1986, Tony Gwynn struck out 112 times.
For the first 4 years of your life.
Yeah, not the first 82 games of a season.
That's unbelievable. Two and one's the count here for Nolan Shonowell. Great to see a quality start from an A's starter to open up the weekend set. Get the bullpen in the order you want. And you said it. Hopefully Medina can perhaps give them a couple here. Pitched 1 inning in San Francisco 2 days ago. 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. 2-2 against Shonowell. And the pitch lined into right field. A base hit for Shonowell as he heads for second.
Shonowell able to turn around a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, that's just a really, really good job by Nolan Shonowell to go way up top, up and out of the strike zone. And look, it's one thing to be able to get on plane with an elevated fastball. It's another to be able to get to it as far in and up as that pitch was. I don't care who you are. That is impressive.
And now Medina has to be careful with the guy that provided some big-time power in the 5th, and Joe Adell takes a strike. Adell hit his 11th homer of the season. away from Langoliers. Up to third goes Shonowell. Another pass ball. Haven't seen too many of those this season. There's the home run back in the 5th. Just got over the wall there and right. We're used to that motion, aren't we? A couple of batters having to shake it off.
They've been chopping at the shins, ankles. Williams took a couple of them back-to-back pitches.
And the 1-2. Dell staying alive. And the pitch.
Check him.
They do, and the first base umpire and Nick Marley has the call. So Medina gave up a double, but 3 strikeouts in the 7th.
Welcome back, 9-3 A's as we head to the top of the 8th. It's been a strong showing by the Athletics.
Ground ball here for Muncy, and Neto with the throw across the diamond, 1 out.
And Jenny, we've been talking a lot about the All-Star game. Well, that meticulously manicured man right there, Jeff Collins, aka Hefe, he's headed to the All-Star game. We will see him in the city of brotherly love. Jeff Collins, the head athletic trainer for the Athletics, longtime member of the A's family, got the nod to go to Philly, and very well deserved, I might add. I've had the opportunity. I've known Jeff Collins for 20 plus years. I mean, he saw me fresh out of the draft in Vancouver, Canada. And that was ages ago.
And then he saw a lot of you and Brett Anderson along the way, too.
Yes, yes, yes. Spent more time than I'd like to have on his training table.
Jeff McNeil out to center field. Going back is Josh Lowe, and he'll step on the track to make the catch. 2 gone.
But Jenny, a guy who, and again, speaking from experience, a guy who, when it was necessary, just because of the work required to get in to make sure that everybody was taken care of, and the guys who are ailing are able to get the attention they need, and the guys who are not and who are performing and the attention they deserve, you got to show up early. You got to put in long hours, way before and way after guys have arrived and left the ballpark. You're still there doing prep work and kind of wrapping up the day's notes, dotting I's and crossing T's. I mean, it's a lot more than just taping an ankle and throwing an ice bag on a shoulder or a sore limb. Like, there is a demand that I don't think people truly understand or respect. And that man has, I mean, in my opinion, far exceeded the requirements of being an all-star. he is exceptional at his job. And he's got a great support staff around him. But I think it's well-deserved, the acknowledgement that Jeff Collins has received, as he has long time been an all-star for this Athletics family. And I think anybody who knows him or comes across his path will say the same. Just top-tier human being.
Huge congrats to Jeff Collins, and I hope he has a few friends to take with him. Langoliers, Kurtz. It'd be nice if they could hop a little jet together from Chicago.
That would be nice.
Fly on over to Philly. So great representation, and as you mentioned, an honor well-deserved. One that the director of strength and conditioning, Josh Cuffey, got last year.
That's right.
So you see the support staff well taken care of. Sounds like a broken bat for Williams, and wow, Meckler makes an exceptional catch out in left field. Takes a hit away from the A's shortstop, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. This game summary is brought to you by Toyota. Well, it was the Angels leading 1-0, and then the 5th inning happened. 6 consecutive hits for 7 runs. The Athletics offense broke open the game. JT Ginn backed him up on the bump. A quality start for Ginn here tonight. 6 innings pitched, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. It was Urania that had the damage done against him. He was ran in the 5th, finished at just 4 1/3 innings. 3 players with 2 RBI nights. Nice to see. Top of the order and the bottom of the order getting in the mix. 10 total hits for the 9 runs for the Athletics. They're up 9-3 over the Angels here. Luis Medina is, in fact, working into his 2nd inning of work. 2-1 now against Jorge Soler.
Like Soler trying to hit an 8-run homer.
Definitely that swing. Chops this one, but fouled on the 3rd baseline. Soler last year 12 home runs in the 82 games that he played. You see Kirby Yates warming up now for the Halos. And Soler already has 11 home runs now in game 62 played in the 26 campaign. For 3 tonight, though. And here's the full count pitch. Fouled, and once again, we're going to have to jog it off, hop it off. Get some body pads going on.
You know, it just doesn't feel like the shin guard ever truly does its job.
It's just ever so slightly in the wrong place.
I mean, it looks sweet. Let's start there. Right? One of the game's greatest pieces of flair that we've seen.
I mean, that's pretty flary.
That's dialed. I mean, you got the logo, you got the team number, you got your name, you might have your nickname on the power straps. I mean, it comes correct. It just feels like it falls a little short when it comes to getting the job done. And you know, it's not by no means is it brand specific. It just means the location and the serviceability of it, because guys are still hobbling around.
That's right. 3-2 outside, and Soler will take a walk on down to first. He'll take the shin guard off first. Well, we got an interesting note from our friends next door. We were just talking about Walter Urania's tough 5th inning. He was perfect through the first 4 innings. The last team to have had a perfect game getting pitched against them and then score 7 runs in an inning that was broken up was the ace. On August 2nd of 2014 against the Royals, Jason Vargas was perfect through 4. Remember that one?
Well, not really. What did you say, 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was.
You were at the network.
Yeah, I was going to say I just probably gotten off my fishing boat and was headed to the studio.
You were doing the wedding to-do list.
That's right.
The nuptials that were going to be coming up. You were tying, what were those ties called? Your knots, your triple.
The Eldridge.
Oh, sorry. Ooh, bounced in and blocked by Langoliers will keep Jorge Soler at first. 2-2 count against Wade Meckler. We might need to bring the tie back.
I don't know if you're ready for it.
I'll tell you, it drove me nuts when you were doing it, because don't think my husband didn't try to tie a tie. Like Dallas Braden, our entire friend group at every wedding we went to.
Well, I can remember a time where we're getting ready to go on at the network I was working with at the time, and Carl Ravitch, an absolute legend, was the theme of the year was getting comfortable being uncomfortable. As Meckler able to work the free pass, that's now back-to-back walks here for Medina to start the 8th. It's like Scott Emerson going to come out and have a little chit-chat with his right-hander. Hogan Harris, lefty warming in the bullpen for the Athletics. But we're getting ready to start the show, and we're live. And Carl Ravitch says, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to show us how to tie that tie." And I said, "No, I can do it." Pulls down, whoop, undoes the tie that I was starting to tie, and says, "No, live."
Oh no.
And then you get the countdown in your ear. And at this time, I mean, I needed a laptop, 5 mirrors. I needed all the help I could get to try to figure out how to tie this tie. And you want to talk about going into panic mode? Oh my God, I must have tied 15 different knots in 30 seconds. I did walk away there, not making a complete fool of myself.
I'm really proud of you, because I just thought that thing was already ready to go for you, and you had to just pull the slip knot up.
Oh, that's not a clip-on. Nay.
Oh, I love that Ravitch did that to you.
Well, and Eduardo Perez, another just a
gem of a human.
Oh God, what a beauty! You know, you get what are called shot sheets that kind of outline what the segments are going to look like, and you know what you may see. And I was, as I think you have found out, a meticulous note taker. And Eddie would tell me, "You know what you're talking about. What are you doing?" And he just grabbed all of the shot sheets that I had,
about right, sure,
in order, and just threw them away. and I thought I was going to pass out from anxiety.
Oh, not you. Not
Eddie.
a guy that likes things in particular order.
What are you
talking about?
Do it.
Guzman with the foul ball down the first baseline. Well, Medina's put himself in a bit of a pickle here. 2 on via the walk. Nobody out in the 8th inning.
And the tough part about this too, Jenny, is we talk about a guy wanting to chew through a couple innings, and in a spot where hopefully he can finish 2 of them, but without a couple free passes and some extended at-bats, obviously now you start to figure or factor in the availability for Medina later in the series, right? This will pretty much erase his availability for tomorrow if he does end up being able to get through 2 innings. And you've got left-hander Walton on deck, who...
This one's chopped. Could turn 2. McNeil doesn't have a chance at second, so he'll go to first to get the 1 out. Soler to third. And Meckler will end up in scoring position.
Yep, and here comes Mark Kotze. He's going to go get Medina, and I think a lot of that has to do with what I just mentioned. You're talking about availability later in the series, later down the line in the week. He'll exit with 2 on and 1 out. Turn things over to left-hander Hogan Harris against Walton when we come back.
Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule, brought to you by Service Champions. Well, the road trip will end here this weekend in Southern California. Then it's back to West Sacramento, back to interleague play. The Dodgers come to town for 3. The calendar will flip to July, and the Miami Marlins will be in town over the weekend. And then the next road trip, the team will head east. Been a minute since they've gone that direction. Detroit and Chicago. And then, believe it or not, Dallas, it is All-Star break right after they see the White Sox. 9-3 the score here. Athletics up over the Angels. 1 out and 2 on as Hogan Harris delivers his first pitch of the ball game. Von Grissom is the pinch hitter as we look at the numbers for Hogan Harris.
41st appearance for Hogan Harris. He's seen a lot of run this season.
That is half of the Athletics games as today sits at game 82. Grissom went around a 0-2 count.
And what I absolutely love about Hogan Harris is he'll tell you he's ready to go in all 82 of them. Yep, good to go. Hogan, you just threw 13 innings last night. Yep, good to go. Feel good.
Yeah, would you expect anything else from the Louisiana product? Two and 2 now. Grissom taking over Donovan Walton's spot. So John Gibbons, the bench coach who took over for Kurt Suzuki, matching up here. Angels down by 6 and running out of time. 2 in scoring position. And the pitch. Full count now. There's some 2 for 6 as a pinch hitter this season. And here's the payoff pitch. Fouls it. See those comeback wins. A's were trailing 1-0 in this one. Count as their 23rd if they can complete it, but right now a big jam with bases loaded. All reaching via a walk, and just 1 out will bring up Logan O'Hoppe, the catcher of the Angels.
You know, and Jenny, I mentioned yesterday at the beginning of the ball game that at times it felt like the bullpen has been exposed, and this is part in what I was mentioning, and it's because I think we've seen them do great work, elite work at times, and then we've also seen them put themselves behind the 8 ball and really cause more issues for themselves and self-imposed than frankly necessary. And in a game where you have the lead that you do.
Ball chopped. It is a foul ball.
Well, a good thing it's a foul ball.
Big break.
The ball climbed up the heel of Muncy, and that merry-go-round would have kept going.
And Harris delivers the pitch. In for a strike, 1-2. There's the trusty curveball. Hoppy 0 for 3. Here in this opener against the A's, make it 0 for 4. Strike 3.
Well, just a 95-mile-an-hour heater driven into the inner half of the zone. Well, Hoppy just can't quite get it going.
The Angels are going to send Christian Moore to the plate now to pinch hit in place of Josh Lowe. So they'll get a right-handed hitter against the lefty and Harris.
Which, frankly, kind of plays into the hand of Hogan Harris.
It does. As those reverse splits, 197 is the batting average for right-handed hitters against Hogan. 299.
Yeah, I mean, those are splits that are, yeah, they're undeniable, right?
To your point, like, we've seen Hogan Harris for half of the games this season. It's very interesting that teams continue to deploy those normal platoons.
Right, and it's so glad you said it, because I've been talking about it all season, and you feel like, hey, you're doing us a favor.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. After his timeout, Moore climbs back in. Bases loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. And the 1-2 from Harris, a swing and a miss. Goes upstairs at 95. 3 left stranded. What a gutsy job by the lefty out of the pen.
The new era of baseball in Las Vegas is right around the corner. For only $19.01, you can secure priority access to 2028 season tickets at the future A's ballpark. You'll get early access to new products such as our recently unveiled dugout clubs, featuring ultra-close baseline seating and an elevated game day experience. To secure your spot, visit athletics.com/Vegas.
Well, the Big A has been really kind to the Athletics, especially in the 5th inning. Hung a 7 spot, now have a 9-3 lead. Kirby Yates enters the game for the 9th inning against the Athletics. And the first pitch missing outside to Henry Bolte. Bolte's been in the leadoff spot the last couple of games. Scored 2 runs tonight, 1 for 4, so driven in 2. It's been nice to see the flexibility and the versatility as well from Mark Kotze's club with the lineup. We'll get into that more in a minute. Grissom stays in the game at second base. Moore enters the game as the left fielder. Adela shifted from right field to center field, and Meckler from left field into right field. Chopped to third. That's where Guzman is, and Bolte's speedy, but the throw beating him out. One gone, and that'll bring up Nick Kurtz. In Dallas, the versatility that you've seen different leadoff hitters and have success, right? Geloff was kind of taking a hold of that spot, and unfortunately for him, lands on the IL. And in that game against San Francisco, it also ended up being the end of his long hit streak.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. Just because you knew right away as Zach Geloff ran off the field, really before needing to be summoned, you had an idea that it was something that was going to need paying attention to, and something that was going to bring him out of the ball game. And knowing that that streak came to an end, I think selfishly a lot of folks at home were frustrated with it, and frustrated with Matt Chapman, who I think, once put into context, understood, look, it's just 2 guys who were trying to make a play happen, not able to make it happen, as Nick Kurtz down on strikes.
There was a bottle of wine in there, so
There was.
apologies sent, but yeah, unfortunate for Geloff the way he landed on the IL. And again, in case you missed it, did have an MRI today. Swelling inside that muscle area of the hand, so no baseball activity for Geloff. But Rooker continues on the IL, and Jacob Wilson didn't start for the second consecutive game. He's been on the bench. Did pass some baseball activities today, hitting in the cage, taking grounders. But those are three pretty big names who've contributed throughout the first half of the season for the A's. And I know things haven't been right for Brent Rooker for a long time. You hope to get him back and healthy at some point for the second half. But we're looking at Alika Williams sitting next to Jacob Wilson right now. The depth has been proven, certainly on this club. And I love when guys like Jacob Wilson, who play every single day, are not in the starting lineup, because they got to find something to do, right?
Well, they don't know what to do with themselves.
So you find a friend, play some games with.
And frankly, that's a good thing. I don't ever want Jacob Wilson to get comfortable or to develop a routine while not in the game. I want him to be irritated.
See that wrap on his right hand? Oof.
Oh, my.
Oh, Hoppy going down after the foul ball hits him, but looks like he nods he's okay to the home plate umpire, who's going to give him a little extra time.
I mean, that is direct. Goodness. Take a listen. Oh. And Hoppy is by no means a little fella.
No.
That is a strong, strong man, ladies and gentlemen. So for him to be moved off his base like that.
Here's the 3-2 to Langoliers foul. I don't know if it helps or hurts when it's the opposing catcher up to bat that does that. A lot of understanding, clearly.
Yeah, you saw Shea check on him.
The Langoliers will reset here. And the payoff pitch coming from Kirby Yates. Swing and a miss. Langoliers, it goes down on strikes. And we'll move to the bottom of the ninth. 3 outs until the A's can shake hands.
A's Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
Final weekend in June down here in Anaheim as the Athletics and Angels stand in game one. Athletics looking for a win, up by 6, going to the bottom of the ninth. And Elvis Alvarado emerges from the bullpen to handle the final 3 outs here tonight.
Well, and I think it's an opportunity to get right. Elvis Alvarado had a very, very unfortunate outing. And I think Elvis, one of the individuals that you can point to when you start to talk about having seen elite performances and then at times having seen some struggles. And look, that's how the game of baseball goes. That's how the role in the bullpens go. And especially guys at the back end of bullpens, because there's no question that his stuff is high leverage capable. And we were talking about 100 miles an hour. And I think for Elvis as an individual, just being able to kind of polish up the secondary stuff and give that 100 mile an hour plus fastball a chance to be as, I think, deadly as it can be, that's the key.
In the air, out to right. And Lawrence Butler will take a beat and make the catch. One retired, and that'll bring up Nolan Shonowell for the 5th time. Well, the green team looking to spoil the red team here on Christmas in June. Athletics looking to go a game above 500 here in the month of June. registered tonight 11-11 this month. And they're dead even in a lot of categories. You look at the offense and the home runs that they've produced, 43 of those over the course of the entire month. The A's built their offense in 9 runs tonight without a home run. And it's going to be an ABS challenge from Shonowell.
Pitch is called a strike, batter's challenge.
And indeed,
Ball is
Shonowell
overturned. Anaheim has 1 challenge remaining.
does get the ball he was looking for by a sliver.
He'll take it. He will take it.
First correct challenge here tonight for the Angels. Turns it to a 2-0 count. In left field on the run is Tyler Soderstrom, and that's going to bounce foul. But it's been the A's pitching staff that also allowed 43 home runs this month coming into tonight. Of course, they added one against Joe Adell, so you see where things have kind of canceled each other out at times. The A's looking to finish the month strong. Starters getting together, chopping it up. We will see the one in the middle coming up tomorrow. Jack Perkins set to go against Reed Detmers in game 2. And the 3-1 high in the air towards center. Bolte all over it. So is Lawrence Butler, and Butler will ultimately give way to the center fielder. 2 gone.
I'd love to see the communication.
Angels down to their final out. Joe Adell, the man with that 2-run homer earlier in the game, up to bat. Called strike against Adell. We're on the rest of the division. Seattle winners tonight against the Guardians, 3-1. So they're now 42-41, leading the American League West. Athletics look to maintain pace, and it would be a game and a half back from them. Rangers winners tonight, and the Astros, who have had a really good month of June, they ended up losing 8-0 to the Detroit Tigers. So they have fallen 2.5 games back. Adell's going to take a timeout with a 1-2 count. And the pitch from Alvarado bounces in, 2-2.
It'd be nice to just get a clean 3-up, 3-down inning.
Adell staying alive.
Jenny, to your point about trying to keep pace, that's, again, the point we've been making with this division. It has been up for grabs, but being able to keep pace and eventually hit a stride is how you close the gap and create one.
And the pitch fouled again. It'll be interesting to see in the second half if any of the teams in the West kind of take that next step forward. No one's really gone on a big win streak or had a big chunk of a couple weeks with a lot of wins. Win tonight here for Alvarado would be a clean inning, like you mentioned, but it's a lengthy at bat here to end things against Joe Adell, or at least that's the effort. Here's pitch number 8 to him, a swing and a miss, and Alvarado gets the job done with an exclamation point, a strikeout to end the game tonight. A Friday night victory for the Athletics over the Angels at 9-3, and chalk it up as another comeback win. They were down 1-0 when they were able to string together 6 hits for 7 runs in that 5th inning and tack on a few more. Good to see the offense top to bottom break out tonight.
And Jenny, you talk about breaking out tonight. I think what's nice to see is the fact that they've been able to carry the momentum that they generated for themselves late in the ball game yesterday into the game here, game 1 against the Halos, a division opponent. And I think that kind of just puts a cap on the conversation we were just having. If you're going to keep pace, if you're going to play the kind of brand of baseball that you expect to, you have to be able to do those things. Carry the momentum into the next day, and we saw that. A great start from JT Ginn, a quality start, and the offense showed up and just, I mean, took him to the woodshed in the 5th inning, and it was fantastic to watch.
Certainly was. It'll be Jack Perkins tomorrow trying to get a series victory in game 2 of the 3-game set for the green and gold. He'll be facing the lefty in Reed Detmers. Well, the Athletics have now won 6 of 9 meetings against the Halos. The next win will guarantee a season series victory. We got lots to talk about coming up. A's Cast on NBC Sports presented by Toyota with Townie and Shooty starts right now.